I come out here today to encourage you, to let you know loves you and you're never alone, for He is always with you. My daughter's going to read something and I'll get back on after.
It says, this is an encouragement thing, and it says choices. It's interesting that Psalms comes on this day. 54 years ago, my second child was born 7 weeks too early. Any parent can imagine what I experienced that day. It took almost 20 minutes before I heard her first cry, and I breathed a sigh of relief. But it was not to last, as she had problems with her lungs, and 54 years ago they didn't have the faculties that they have today. All I could do was pray and pray. I did. I placed her in God's hands and prayed that she would live. Now I know that this is not the same situation that David was in when he blessed God for saving him from the armies of Saul. But it was one of the scariest moments of my life, like David. My daughter was saved from death when we don't know who we can turn to. We can turn to God. When we don't know what to do, we can pray. God always answers our prayer. Sometimes we don't like the answers we get. God Himself knows how often He has said no to me. Sometimes His answer is that He will get me through the valley of death that I am experiencing, whichever way it goes. God is my strength and the one I can turn first. We have choices when our prayers are not answered in the way we want. We can turn away from God. I know people who have decided that either God does not exist or is an evil God because of the tragedies they have experienced. I can understand how tragedy can impact our faith. Others whom I know are grateful that God has brought them through the tragedies, and their faith is stronger for it. As I said, we have a choice, and each of us will be called on many times in our lives to make it. And loving God, you have done so much for us. You have been with us in good times and bad, and have seen us through the joys and the sorrows. May we always remember that you are there for us, and turn to you and turn to you as our rock and our fortress. Amen.
See, we sometimes Jesus doesn't give us the answer we want. He tells us no, but sometimes there's a reason why He tells us no and don't give us what He wants or right when He wants it. Because this is an example, because I've heard it a long time ago, someone said it to me that their lives were spared because God had told them to wait. They didn't understand why, but they finally listened and didn't take off yet, and they were spared an accident that could have killed them. See, sometimes we don't understand why God tells us things that we need to listen to and understand, and not say, I'm going to give up because you ain't giving me what I want and the things I want to hear. Sometimes we got to listen to that small voice, which is God, telling us things that we need to hear and listen to Him. Because sometimes if we don't listen to Him, we get into things that makes it worse for our life, and we get discouraged then. But when we can listen to God and to what He's trying to tell us, He's the best thing that ever can happen, and He's the one that has the answer. He knows before we know. So if we remember that, just always listen to Him, and we may not understand it, but He loves you and He knows what's best for you and I. May God bless you all and have a beautiful day. If you have anything to pray about, just let me know. God bless you.